Welcome to Podcast Corner, and today's episode of Freedom Road Roundup is a Halloween special. In today's episode, we'll be having a little bit of a roundup and a bit of a conversation on what's been going on in the life of the podcast, and a spooky conversation about some Halloween things. So let's give it over to all the podcast lot today for a spooky conversation. Hello everyone, welcome to Podcast Corner. So my name's Dan, and welcome to our first episode of the new series of Freedom Road Roundup. Obviously, we're filming this, hi guys, and this is weird because I'm like 52, so I should tell myself so I'm looking at it a bit more. But this is obviously a Halloween special. Halloween is tomorrow, so I hope you all have a good Halloween. But we've got two new people in the podcast today, so let's find out who we've got on today's episode. So let's start going round that way.
Oh.
Hello, my name is Jack Wednesday. Just glad to be here.
Great.
Thank you.
It's my turn now, isn't it? I'm one of the originals from first ever podcast. I'm Ethan.
I'm Owen. Killy. There you go.
Owen Kelly. Oh, hello. So, if you don't know, Owen and Jack are new to Freedom Road. They've been recording in the Freedom Road studio. And talking about the studio there, have you seen our new Podcast Corner studio room? We're in our lovely kitchen that now is lovely and blue.
Very good job.
Still got some work to do, but it's looking better than it ever did.
It is a lot better than
it is, isn't it?
It started out.
Yeah.
You whacked some pen, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
You could use it as a blue screen and put stuff behind you.
I know, yeah. Could it be the next
shelves,
Marvel movie?
I don't. That's a bit too far.
Oh, all right, sorry.
It's fine.
Anyways, so obviously today's episode, today's video, today's podcast, whatever you want to call it, it's just a little bit of a roundup of what's been going on in the life of the podcast. And obviously the first thing is the new studio space. Ethan, have you got something we've been doing, a bit of an update of what we've been doing?
Right, so basically we've just been getting more youth groups involved with the podcast and stuff.
Yeah, so what we've been doing with that.
I don't really know the names of many of the
so we've been doing loads of work. So we've had Wyvik in, and that'll be coming out next week.
Podcast of Astra.
We've had Astra podcast. Yeah,
Saw
we have.
that.
How do you know about that?
It's near my house, isn't it? That's a bit too informational, but yeah. Not on
so
brand zone on that.
We know
I saw
where
what
he
he was
lives.
doing. I had binoculars from the window.
He was just
I'm
stopped.
sure someone was looking at me. Do you know when you just feel that presence and Jack's phone going off?
Again.
I'm
that's
just
what
such
it
a popular guy.
He is.
Why did you go and turn off your phone? I've got to turn off.
Why Jack goes and turns his phone off, I'll keep carrying on. So we've been working with a lot of different youth services or youth groups and services. What's been really great for the podcast to kind of branch out with that, what is amazing. But Ethan, why don't you tell us a little bit about the music live and actually what live we've got this first Saturday of the month.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, the first Saturday of the month will be with Courtney and...
Ooh.
And what? Is that... And she's got maybe the release of her new song, her new single.
Debut.
I didn't know if I was allowed to say that, which
Yes.
is why I looked over
You
to
are.
you, Dan.
The debut single.
The debut,
Oh
yeah.
my
And it was
gosh.
also, I'm pretty sure, recorded in this studio.
In the studio.
Well,
was
the
indeed, wasn't it?
studio. That totally
The
get that.
ever-changing studio.
The ever-changing
Changes.
studio.
Was that the
that's
one
getting
I
us-
had when you was thing you was in?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It was
Good.
pretty good actually.
I love you too, mate.
I love you. Yeah, anyways.
That's preview from
Let's get back on track.
Daniel, mate.
Yeah, so why don't you talk about the one that we had the month before with Unwise Society, and maybe why you think we've kind of started to do the music lives, and because obviously music is an important part of Freedom Road.
To be fair, music lives are quite a good idea for us because it helps us branch off and maybe get some new local bands in that haven't really been heard before and stuff. To come in, introduce themselves, introduce the band and stuff, and get one of their songs played. Maybe a cover, maybe an original. You never know.
I think we've got some.
Dan, you messed up my special work.
Sorry, some artists in the room. Owen,
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah.
Oh, me as well. Yeah.
And you.
And me.
Keep today. Come on.
Oh, why don't you talk a little bit about
The EP.
your EP?
Got a new EP coming out.
Yeah.
Hopefully by the 24th of November. If we get it done.
Rookie mistake.
Recorded in the studio. It's beautiful. Daniel's drumming's beautiful.
Isn't it?
Farts a lot though.
I do, yeah.
He does.
Honestly,
This is why you
stinks
just
the
got a
room
hand,
out.
because he needs a hand.
Do you want a
to stop
hand?
what he does.
Oh, thank you, mate.
Do you want a hand?
Appreciate that. He used his very hand to press all the buttons to get me and Jack sounding beautiful.
Yeah, trust me,
Use
they
that very
did all our
hand
work.
You
Thank
did
you
it.
very
Tom.
much.
But yeah, it's been nice
That
to
was
meet
good.
you both and have you in
Same
the
here.
studio.
Now we've got backing band
backing band,
coming on stage
Yeah.
today.
vocals.
Backing
How's it
vocals,
go? Go
maybe.
on, sing it.
What?
What's your lyrics?
When you're in need, woo. Like that.
When you're in need. There you
Oh
go.
yeah.
Hey, yeah.
Right, Dan,
Can I-
get back
Yeah.
on track. This is
So-
a podcast.
We were waffling.
I am.
I know.
I've got to fill the gap somehow.
I know.
We've
It's
got a lot to talk
got nothing
about.
to talk about.
What else have we been doing in the podcast? So just to finish up on our little roundup, obviously what we're trying to do as a podcast now is we're trying to move and work with different young people, different companies, different youth groups, different whatever. Like obviously Astro Youth Centre, Wyvick and Corner House and loads of things like
Kingston
that.
Youth Centre.
Kingston
Can't
Youth
forget about
Centre.
them.
Because what we want to do is basically give a platform for young people to be able to kind of talk about their stories and empower
Giving them a
them.
voice.
Yeah, giving
Very
them a
good.
voice. So that is kind of just a little bit of an update, and we've got loads of things coming out. So don't forget to check out the social media because you get loads of updates on there, especially when Ian puts his dodgy posts up. But yeah, we won't talk about that. Anyways, why don't we talk a little bit about Halloween? Has anybody got any good Halloween stories?
I got
on,
a
Jack.
pretty good ghost
Go on,
story.
Jack.
So, I would say a good maybe 2 years ago, I had sleep paralysis one night, and it's, as you know, it's awful.
Sleep
Awful.
paralysis is
It's
awful.
Never had
awful.
it, so
Well, you're lucky
Thank
'cause
you,
it was
well,
so.
Never had
I
that.
remember.
Basically,
Yeah.
sleep paralysis, you wake up and you can't move and there's something going towards you.
It's like because it's
It's
like a dream.
horrible.
It's like a dream.
Oh, I've
that you
had
have
that. Yeah,
waking.
yeah.
you had it.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
horrible.
I had a weird thing where there was someone sat near my bed. I could feel it, and my legs were like being touched. It was very weird, and I couldn't move.
I'm not sure that was a dream. Anyway. But yeah, I had sleep paralysis, and it was like this tall figure sort of coming towards me. Alright, that's not. Never mind. It was,
So basically, a tall figure that was walking towards you.
Walking
Yeah.
towards you, mate.
and then I remember because I was facing it and the door was open, and
Yeah.
it like sort of came out the attic.
Did it?
It came out.
Do you need an hand here?
Right. So, 1 to 2 years ago, I remember I had sleep paralysis, like really vivid, right? And there was this figure, right? It exited the attic.
But we can laugh about this.
Right?
It's funny,
It's
yeah.
in the past.
And it started walking towards me. Right?
Stop it, Dan.
Why is that even? That's not even funny.
Loving this.
Around about 2 years ago, I had sleep paralysis. Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember waking up and turning my head to the side, and because I heard something, and then the attic door, not the door, what do you call it? The wooden. There's like a wooden thing you put over it.
Yeah.
We'll call it a wooden pallet.
Yeah. That I remember that moving, and something like crawling out of it. Okay.
Nah.
Then it started walking towards me, and
That-
you know
that's
it's
creepy, that.
it's awful because you're trying to. I was really trying to scream.
And you can't really
You
do
can't. You
much,
can't.
can
You can't.
move or scream.
My mouth just wouldn't open. There was something. I was convinced I was saying something, but I just wasn't.
Like you
but-
can hear yourself speaking
Yeah.
in your head, but
It's
no
just
one
not
else
there.
is
It's
to talk,
awful.
yeah.
It's awful. So, I was so it started walking towards me, okay, and then it just all of a sudden, after this was like 5 minutes of it just slowly getting closer and closer, and then after 5 minutes, I can't remember anything else because I think even though all that, I just went back to sleep. Okay, but the scary thing about that is I remember waking up the next morning and I woke up really early at like 6. So none of my family was even up. They was all still asleep. My brother was still asleep, my parents. And I remember, oh, I need to go to the toilet. I opened the door, I went to the toilet, and when I came back out, I realised the attic door was actually moved.
Shut up.
That's actually creepy.
No, it was actually
Oh
it was
my
actually
God.
slightly moved. And I
Nice.
remember seeing that and I was frozen. I was frozen
I'd
with
have
fear.
ran.
I went.
you aware?
I was like sort of like, right, go to the toilet and go back to bed, try and go to sleep. But after that, I was awake, and I went into my
Not going
parents'
to your house again, mate.
I went into my
Alright.
parents' room and I told them about it. They didn't believe me, but my dad said he'll go look up in the morning when he wakes up. He said there was nothing there, but it was the way.
It was under your bed, mate, after that.
Exactly. Well, no,
Nice.
there's
I've got
actually
something
nothing.
similar.
Yeah,
to
but
that.
the fact that like when you was like kind of dreaming that you saw it open, and then the fact that it was actually open in the morning, Nah.
I've got
Weird.
I would have ran straight out the house.
I'd have jumped out the
I
window.
would have either called the Scooby
gone down
Gang,
the toilet.
'cause why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Or I would have got Ghostbusters. in my
Ghostbusters
house.
would be the place to be.
Yes.
Pop on the phone. Paul
Who
Rudd.
do you call?
Ghostbusters.
But
I've
Or
got
just
some.
us. Or just us.
Well, he's in his jumpsuit. He's got his sorted, hasn't he?
Exactly.
He'll be there with his little gun.
With the vacuum on camera that we
He's
can
have to.
use.
He's have to fix the boiler.
Yeah.
This is what he uses to capture them.
Anyways, come on. I thought you were.
I have got something very similar. When I say similar, it's not actually that similar, but
Is it the one at your granddad's house?
no, similar story. Not that similar though. I went to the toilet. You know how it is. I had a pee. I flushed it. I flushed it, but and I looked down. There was a letter face in that, and it was like Lord Voldemort's face. You know, Voldemort, Harry Potter.
How is this similar to mine?
I don't know.
How is
It was
this
proper
similar
into
to
Harry Potter, right? And I saw the Voldemort's face, and I was scared, mate. So then I got my mum to come in.
Was you
sure
asleep?
it was Voldemort?
Yeah, it was. Mate,
Was you asleep?
I was I was like 6, you know, you're like 6.
right,
So it's,
okay.
I saw Voldemort's face. My mum came in the room, into the toilet, because I was like, "Mum, Voldemort." She's like, "There's nothing there, son," and that's scary.
That's just not scary. That's just.
That's
called
very
having-
scary,
That's called
that.
sleep
That's just you
deprivation.
being weird, mate.
That was me like a
It's
6.
just your
I
reflection
mean,
in the
here we
toilet
go.
bowl.
Good.
What was one of my granddad's?
I thought like how your granddad used to be like, into like witchcraft and
I
stuff like
did,
that.
yeah.
And there was like lots of creepy stuff going
There were a
on.
lot. Okay, one
Oh,
time
no.
we was at my grandma's house, right? And it was Max, your brother, was in the bathroom,
And
chilling,
the mirror.
and the mirror just fell.
It just
Shut
fell.
up.
It was just
Yeah,
looking.
it's
Nah. If mirrors are falling,
It was,
I'm
so
running.
it was like a double. So there's a mirror above the toilet sort of thing, and then there's like a big mirror behind. When you turn around, there's a big mirror. It was
so basically like a vortex, like them
Yeah,
directly in front of each other.
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
That just gathers ghosts.
Can I just
The
say
vortex
something?
gathers
Remember
ghosts.
when we went for that food? And we were just sat there, and
which-
there's mirrors in
which
front
place?
of each other. The one across from our unit, and we just felt like someone was watching
Oh my
us.
god, yeah.
And there was this, like-
Literally, we walked
It just
in,
felt like
we walked in and instantly we felt like someone was watching us.
Oh.
Literally, you turned to your right, you could see like 50 of yourselves.
I know, but it just felt weird.
It felt weird. The food was nice though. Food was nice.
See, I don't believe in ghosts.
Especially when it was free, because Dan paid for me.
I did.
Oh, that's the best.
I'm open-minded when it comes to ghosts, but
I don't know. I'm so. I mean,
I don't
I
believe.
mean, what about the old unit ghost on?
Oh, no, right.
That
We
place
had an
was
old- We had
haunted.
an old unit. You can obviously go check the old podcast out.
Which one was this one?
Like the last Halloween one we did. After that,
Yeah.
me and
After that, as soon as we walked in, if the lights wasn't on, you felt eerie.
oh no,
You switched them on, still felt eerie, but like less eerie. More people in, you felt fine. Walk in the kitchen, even though there's 5, 6 of you in that kitchen, you could feel something just watching you.
Well, there was me and Jack was in there once and we was doing something, and you felt like something brushed past us and just like things was accidentally falling off.
Was you there when
and-
like one of the full-size couches like moved?
no,
One of the full-size couches like
excuse me.
it was either the couch or one of like the armchairs.
something moved,
armchairs
didn't
we
it?
got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We was it was actually like we've recorded the Halloween podcast. We was all getting ready to leave, turning the lights off, and we just had a shh. We like switched all the lights back on, walked in. We didn't know what it was until like I think it was the next week when we went back and realised that one of the chairs has slightly moved away from the actual wall. So we had it back on the wall. Oh, it was creepy.
It just. Well, I'm glad we're out there now. Like I think me and Jack refused to go in there on
Yeah.
our own.
Yeah.
It's awful. Or if you went up there like in your own, like you would have the back door open, all the doors open, all the lights on.
Yes.
Can I ask a quick question, actually?
Go on.
Like, do your taps just randomly turn on by themselves?
Yeah.
Is that a normal
No,
thing?
mine's never done it. But right, our shower sometimes just starts dripping.
Well, no, I'm not talking about dripping.
mean
I'm talking about
time?
my taps, like,
Oh.
fully turn on.
No.
No,
yeah.
what?
No.
Yours
That's
do.
not- That's I thought that was like a normal thing. Like,
Right,
fully.
I'm not going to that.
No,
That's
no.
something that happens in my house all the time.
What?
I'll be away. I'll be just in my room like 2 a.m.
What about like drip?
not going
Like,
to sleep.
like,
No,
like,
then all of a
shh.
sudden, I'll just be on my phone. All of a sudden, I'll just hear the tap.
Like
turn
a
on.
shh.
To
That's
be
so
fair,
bad, though.
I'll hear my
No.
tap go
No.
on.
I don't
My
have
door's
my
opened
house.
on its own before.
What?
Yeah, my door just opened on its own before.
Oh, that's happened to me, but it's windy.
Someone's knocked
And then
on
at
my
one
door.
point, right, my door was kind of open, seriously.
And then it just-
This was a couple of weeks ago.
And it just closed.
Like a couple of months ago, I was eating, and I just felt someone here. and I felt someone grab my shoulder and pull me back, and I thought it was my brother because he was there. There was no one there, but it just literally.
Why are you all on
ejects
it?
me.
Well,
like-
Are we all in council houses?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know,
no!
actually.
Is it something about council?
Are you in a
houses?
council
I
house?
don't think so. No.
We are.
No,
I am.
the worst thing about me is I literally live
Jesus.
like 3 minutes away from a cemetery.
That's a
Literally
good name
3
for a
minutes,
song. The
About
council
3 or
state
5 minute
ghost.
walk away from mine is the cemetery. Where
Yeah.
some of my family are actually buried there. Oh, it's so creepy.
Ooh. Anyway.
Recording a podcast, mate, you man.
Cursed.
Was that a timer?
What time is
That
it?
sounded like a timer.
Speaking of which, we're cutting that out.
Should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on
Should
from
we
creepy stories.
Should we move on?
I
Do
remember
it.
when we used to have that. It was like a
Weird.
year ago. We used to have
The
that
ghost
music.
stuff,
We used
yeah.
to do ghost stuff,
No.
and then we was
Yeah,
like, and then it
mate.
was like,
That's how he's haunted. I'm lucky.
No, I don't think I'm haunted. I just think
Definitely
there's an explanation for everything. I reckon. Like,
Nah, definitely.
That's what I think. Like some of the shows where they don't explain themselves after finding something, you can classify them as just faking it. But there is some shows out there that actually try and debunk everything they get.
Yeah.
Like every piece of evidence, they try and debunk it.
trying to explain it before they even
Yeah.
know anything
I
else.
think it's important.
Because that's what I always try and do. If
Rational.
something happens that's a bit, dodgy or
Yeah.
anything, I don't go, oh, it's a ghost. I go,
Well, this is a good thing about this building. It's not haunted, as we've seen yet.
well, no, I'm here.
Thank the Lord. Please, no.
Maybe
little
brought a
ghost.
demon.
Wait. Half the lights downstairs don't work.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
actually,
because that's just buggered, isn't it?
Can I
There's a
just
beep
say-
that goes on downstairs.
Do you know
Just beep,
downstairs?
beep, beep.
sometimes actually, when there's no lights, it does feel like there's someone watching you.
Downstairs.
Oh, yeah, it's because it's so big.
No. Do you know like the room that's got the slight bit of glass downstairs?
Yeah. Doesn't it feel like someone's
As soon as
watching?
you walk in there and turn your
Oh,
back,
the room, the little room with
it just
on
feels
the
so
left.
bad.
It does.
Like,
Do
it's
you know
got
when I
literally a
leave?
bit of
Seriously.
Which part are we on about?
you know,
Downstairs,
Yeah, down.
literally below us right now is a room that's got a small bit of glass on.
yeah.
Literally, switch. I don't usually switch the lights on in that room, but if I'm like going round the back to like switch the lights on for a band practice or something, I always switch those lights on first. Wait until they're on before I go past it.
Fair enough.
It always feels as if someone's eyes are like peeking through the.
Well, this is the
glass
thing.
at
When I leave and I'm on my own, it's like 7 o'clock or whatever time we leave. Sometimes
you. The later it is,
I
the
run.
creepier the feeling.
I run to that door now without. I just like lights off, leg it, open the door, and I'm like, someone's there.
This is why we should all have
Totally.
light up beanies in this unit. So on a night, we switch the lights up and just press the dot on our head and then just walk with our light.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever done any like mirror challenges?
What?
No.
Like Bloody Mary?
I don't think I have, no.
No,
Have you
no.
never?
Never been into
Me
that.
and my mates did it.
That's why your house is bugged.
Well, no, because we thought,
Yeah.
you're just gonna come for. No, we thought nothing was gonna happen. and nothing
Yeah,
did
well,
happen.
what's happened with my mirror, yeah? Smashed me.
There's probably an explanation for it, but it was just the way that Max was looking in that mirror, and as soon as he turned to look at the mirror behind him, that was above there, it just fell off straight
There's
away.
no reflection, bless him.
Right. So do you think we should wrap this podcast up like I'm gonna wrap his presents up for Christmas?
Yes.
No.
Thanks, mate, yeah.
Yeah, we should.
Alright,
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
want? What do you want?
What do I want?
Christmas.
Some of the
Can I-
Explorer merch.
Yeah. Can I get, right, I'm going to make a very special request. Gibson,
Yeah.
Amp.
Epiphone J200. You can give me an amp if you want, Marshall, whatever. On it, though, I want a big picture of Dora.
Die.
Can I get like one of those Hello Kitty bass guitars?
Yeah, that's all right. Anyways, so thanks for joining, watching, whatever.
Thank you.
This week's podcast. It's been a bit of a wrap up, a bit of story about Halloween. Don't forget to check us on Instagram and check out the other podcasts that we've
The
got.
links will be in the bio
The links
or
will be
yeah.
somewhere.
Teespring thing, whatever it is.
Yeah, that needs
Tiga.
that needs redoing.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. I've been Dan.
I've been Jack Wednesday.
Being Owen Killy.
And I've been Ethan like usual.
Yeah, thanks for watching this podcast. And it is a bit weird that his last name's Wednesday and we are filming this podcast on Wednesday. Oh. So yeah, have a good Halloween. Don't do anything bad. Eat all the candy you want. And yeah, we'll see you in the next podcast.
See you in the next podcast.
Goodbye.
See you later.
Bye.